Hey DTR, ready to review this new Medal of Honor with me?
Heck yeah, I've always been a fan of this franchise. I can remember when—
Shut up! We have to get these reviews shorter.
Whoa, nothing like taking control there, Omar.
Let's check on in graphic options.
Holy dear God above. Or below, if that's your thing. This is amazing.
I feel like a kid in a candy store.
I'll have some textures, HBIO, and reflections, please. Oh, and don't forget to ultrasize them.
Now, how about we fire her up and see what she has under the hood?
3, 2, 1, begin. Oh yeah, I forgot how tired I've become of first-person shooters. This really feels generic. Generic like, why did the chicken cross the road?
I kinda think they were aiming for a Battlefield 3 kind of experience. But he's coming out short like a limp dick.
You hit the nail right on the coffin. If I wanted a Battlefield 3, I'd have fired that one up. I truly don't feel anything new brought to the table in regards to gameplay or feel.
I can barely play this on my computer. I had to lower the graphics a lot.
I'm struggling here myself. This is the second game that has brought my PC to its knees. The other being Battlefield 3. This Frostbite engine is taxing. Oh shit! I just realized the game isn't using SLI. Give me a sec, I updates my drivers. Ah, yes, this is better. Not the game, but the frame rate.
Because it's using this Frostbite engine, some objects are destructible, but it feels like Battlefield 3 without all the polish. Some things looks beautiful.
And sometimes things like, straight up, sometimes things look like shit. The runny kind. And on top of that, I find myself lost all the time, even though it's very linear. There are invisible walls everywhere. Don't get me wrong, it's an okay game, but it's one of them games where you buy just because you're waiting for another. And back on the destruction system, and I have to point this out, the only game that did destruction worth talking about was the Red Faction franchise, and they went and canceled it. That's like shooting a kitten because it's cute. Same thing.
This is something you usually pick up on more than me, DTR. But pictures, even on Ultra, don't look that good. They look blurry.
This isn't a grade A game, that's for sure. On that note, this is a game that has some of the best sound I've ever heard. Everything sounds wicked, punchy as hell. Bullets and RPG sound, as you say, Omar, amazing. Well, I've never experienced an RPG being fired off, but if I did, I'm sure it would sound like this. It's top notch, and props to the sound engineers.
Yeah, RPGs do sound like that.
I'm not gonna ask you the question that's going through my head.
The story isn't much to talk about either. You're this guy who is sick of being in the military and wants out, but his past keeps coming back and haunts him. You'll be doing flashbacks to where he was serving in the army/military to his current life.
Yeah, and his life is pretty well much all gone to hell. His wife seems to have left him and he's trying to spend time with his daughter. But because of the life he lived before, some evil dude he pissed off blew up this train trying to take out his family. It's like watching the Expendables movie for its story. I'm not a fan of the story. It's very bland like cream of wheat.
You can't keep doing this. Whatever's going on out there affects you, affects us.
Gameplay is mediocre at best. Things work as they should, and buttons are mapped properly. I have no issues to report on, except I'm not sure how to get my controller to run with this game. It supports it, but it just don't work.
Since I've updated my drivers and re-enabled SLI, I've been getting a good frame rate, but something odd happens at the driving mission. I'm not sure if it's some odd form of DRM or something they had to do to fix a problem before the launch of the game. The game changes resolution when you get in the Jeep. It goes to 720p. It's really odd, and I think it's the reason I've been reading a lot of people are crashing at the second mission.
That is pretty odd.
Well, if it is DRM, it's a really strange DRM, but I put my money on issues at running the driving part of the game at a higher resolution, so as a quick fix, they lowered the resolution. I genuinely have no answer, to be honest. On a side note, they should have just left the driving part out. It's horrible in every sense of the word. It's like getting into a Ferrari with a 4-cylinder engine. It looks pretty, but handles like a boat.
Well, there's not much more to say about the game. I guess some of the pros about the game is that it plays like Battlefield 3, and it has some graphic options to tinker with.
Yeah, I'll have to say this. EA is from the devil. They are becoming a monopoly, and I truly hate them. And will advise people to stay away from their games until they smarten up. Ditch Origin and steer away from these crazy DRMs like Ubisoft has did of the late.
Well, that's it, I guess. Communicate laters?
Communicate laters, chumps.